Welcome. My name is Asmara Salas, and this is my international case study on technology integration, addressing gender inequalities in education through mobile learning technologies in Saudi Arabia. A study published in September of 2020 evaluated the use of mobile learning technologies to address the substantial educational gaps caused by the gender separation practice in Saudi Arabia. The study and the implementation of mobile learning technology is part of an initiative at the University of Jeddah and in alignment with the government's Vision 2030 plan. The Vision 2030 plan includes 96 strategic initiatives and 13 programs to create a vibrant society in which all citizens can fulfill their dreams, hopes, and ambitions to succeed in a thriving economy. In terms of education, the plan aims to more closely align higher education graduates and institutional objectives with the requirements of industry and employment. However, the plan does not specifically focus on the gaps in education between males and females. To understand the educational disparities, one must recognize the religious, socioeconomic, and political factors that form educational policy. Saudi Arabia is considered as the center of the Islamic world due to the location of the two holy cities, Mecca and Medina. As such, the Saudi educational system gives Islamic doctrines and values a central role in its policies and pedagogical guidelines. In the Quran, the Prophet Muhammad states, every Muslim, male and female, is requested to seek for knowledge, so theoretically both genders can equally seek an education. The Quran also states that men are a degree above them, meaning women, and that women are to ensure a stable family life. In this way, the genders complement each other rather than being equals. While it is agreed upon that Islam enacted rules regulate the movement, dress, and speech of women, the argument exists that current social conditions defining male and female roles are of an economic consideration and were determined as part of a needed societal structure. Part of the social construct surrounding Islam is the separation of genders, where women are segregated via their clothing, roles, and ultimately education. It was not until 1960 that the first formal public school for girls opened, largely in part to the demand by Western educated males seeking educated wives. The development of the educational opportunities for both sexes was the result of the oil-generated income that allowed for educations abroad and a change in lifestyles. The Saudi government determined that a separate education system for girls based on Islamic doctrine could be established with considerations taken regarding the nature of women, what society's needs were from women's services, and the enhanced marriage eligibility educated women provided. Although employment is not advocated, women are able to study subjects considered suitable for women under Islamic teachings, thereby relegating them to fields of nursing, teaching, and social services, and the mandated subjects such as home economics, home management, and religion. They are prevented from taking sciences, engineering, veterinary medicine, and communication media studies. Ironically, computer science has recently seen an increase in female students as it has been determined that the field is largely a solitary one. In order to ensure Islamic doctrine was followed, girls' education was controlled by the General Presidency of Girls' Education, which was headed by male religious figures. The Ministry of Education operates male education. In the mid-1970s, girls' education was allowed to expand in an attempt to address the 99% illiteracy rate among women, and because girls' schools were operated through and with religious oversight. The two agencies were merged in 2002 with a unified curriculum put in place by King Abdullah in 2006. A unified curriculum, however, does not mean that gender segregation was eliminated, nor was educational programming equal. It is also important to understand that the gender separation that guides educational availability and content starts when girls are 9 years old. At that age, girls are veiled and sent to an all-girls school run by female administrators. They are taught by only female instructors or blind male ones. In contrast, male schools benefit from instructors with advanced degrees as well as greater access to educational resources and funding. While females may achieve the role of school administrators, all decisions are made by males in higher positions. In 1979, the first university with an all-women's college was founded. At these colleges, the instructors are also female. It was the shortage of female instructors that prompted using technology. One-way video, male instructor to students, through closed-circuit television, and two-way radio communication for audio. In 2006, the Saudi government launched a national e-learning center to promote female education. With e-learning, Saudi women could pursue higher education from home while overcoming transportation barriers in order to get to campus, a contributing factor in the high dropout rate for women. Women were not allowed to drive prior to June 2018. However, connectivity and access to information and communication technology remains a concern. Mobile learning technology has come to the forefront as a solution for female education at all levels. For example, Saudi women are not allowed to use the 200 libraries associated with institutions or the 70 public libraries unless accompanied by a male relative. Of the 15,000 female students in the 13 colleges at the University of Jeddah in the Al-Asmari study, only 187 out of the 300 survey responses returned were completed. Responders to the Al-Asmari study indicated that female students felt empowered by advantages mobile learning affords them when competing against their male counterparts. The mobile learning platform allowed female students to submit assignments and access resources without the traditional limitations while adhering to social conventions. The Al-Asmari study, published in September of 2020, is the first of its kind. The recommendation was made to government to implement mobile learning as a constructive and practical approach in bridging the educational gaps brought on by gender segregation. 2009 saw the opening of the first co-ed university, King Abdullah University of Science and Technology, where women are allowed to seek majors previously denied to them. It is located near the Red Sea, north of Jeddah, where the influences of Islamic doctrine are not as pronounced and is run by the state oil company, not the Ministry of Education. Additionally, as part of its Vision 2030 plan, the current Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, aims to increase technology and tourism to lessen the dependence on oil income. Mobile learning appears to be a viable technological solution to the education disparities in the country. The United States and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia can be seen as two opposite ends of the educational technology spectrum. Saudi Arabia as a nation was not established until 1932. Therefore, the U.S. had a several hundred years head start. In the beginning of both countries, children learned to read by reading religious materials, the Quran and the Bible. However, there was, and still is, a strong push by religious conservatives in the Saudi nation to avoid sinful Western ways. Therefore, while the U.S. is a leader in implementing technology in education, the use of CCTV and two-way radio remains popular as e-learning is in the relatively infant stages in the Saudi nation. The globalization of mobile learning technologies potentially provides an avenue for education without biases and for all learners.